All right, 12.2, probability and counting. Again, before you do start anything, let's check your new vocabulary. You've got union, you've got intersection, and you've got complement. Okay, be careful, it's not the same as complementary angles, this is complement. So let's start off with, the first one is a union. When you have two events, what would be your outcomes? Well, the first thing you need to notice is that you can do notation. You've got two parts, A and B, and what is in both of them, you have like an italic U. All right, and as you can see from the diagram, it's what is in A and B and what intersects both of them. All right, now if it's just asking for an intersection, this time the italic U is upside down, so it's like an N this time, and all you're interested in is what is in that area only, which complement, which is in both of them. All right, not in everything, but just in where they overlap. So let's have a look at example 1. All right, so you want to know what is in both of them. Well, you can roll things out. Okay, it's a spinner, and it says let A be the event that it lands on an even number. Okay, well, look at your even numbers. So your yellow part will be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, but B is the event that it lands on a number between 5 and 8. Well, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the possibilities that it could be greater than 5. But as you can notice, you've actually got 6 and 8 that links with both of them. Think about you as a student. You may be taking maybe math and art, and somebody may be taking science and art. So between the two of you, you both have art, but altogether you've got 4. Okay, but the question is asking for a union. So make a Venn diagram to start off with and look at what's in both of them. All right. So any odd number must be on the outside, or any odd number that's less than 5. So as you can see, the 1 and the 3 are on the outside. Okay, so now let's have a look at the intersection and how both all the information and the intersection you can now make into a probability, a fraction. Okay, so now let's have a look at what you've got. You've got a Venn diagram. So this is a Venn diagram. That were a bit similar to what I was just been talking about, but you've got people that play basketball or tennis, and as you can see, in total there are 7 people, but only 2 of them, which is Meg and Ed, play basketball and tennis. Well, don't forget from the notation, we're only interested in the intersection, so all we're interested in is just Ed and Megan, okay, or Meg. Okay, so that's the intersection. That's the answer of the intersection. It's just Meg and Ed. But now you've got to put it into a probability. Okay, now this is all the notation that you can use, but the only one that we're interested in really is this guy. Okay, so what is the probability? Well, it's only Meg and Ed are the only 2 that play both of them, and there are 7 people. So your answer is going to come up with 2 7s. Okay, so let's put example 1 and 2 into practice. So let's have a look at what you've got. Okay, so you've got, you're rolling a standard number cube, in other words, a dice. So the numbers are through 1 through 6. And you've got 2 things. One, for question number 1, you've got a number less than 3. Well, let's start that as, let's put that as our A part of it. Okay, well, numbers less than 3 can only be 1 and 2. And then the B part of it, it has to be an even number, so it's got to be 2, 4, and 6. So if we did our chart of that, what we would have, if we did our Venn diagram, okay, 2 is in both of them, so that could go there. 1 could go, so this is the A part, this is the B part, and here's your 4 and your 6. Okay, now you've got to work out what is the probability. Well, in total, you've got 6 different things. Okay, so 6 must go at the bottom, and if you look at my Venn diagram, you've got 4 out of 6, and you can simplify that down to 2 over 3. Okay, so the probability of a number less than 3 or an even number is 2 out of 3. Okay, so now we're coming on to the last word of the vocabulary. Okay, complement or complementary events. Okay, as I said, don't get it mistaken with complementary angles. This is events. Okay, so what happens here? Francesca buys 20 tickets, hoping to win the $100 gift card. If there was 300 raffle tickets sold, what is the probability she would not win? Okay, so this is not the chances that she will win, it's the chances that she will not win. Well, okay, here is the format of the notation. The probability she won't win, where does the 1 come from? Well, the 1 is there were 300 tickets, and if she bought all 300 tickets, okay, so 300 over 300 is basically 1. So she didn't buy all 300 tickets. She only bought the 20 out of the 300 tickets. Okay, and if you simplify that, you're going to finish up with 280 over the 300. Okay, and that will simplify down to 14 over 15, and it's simplified fraction form. And if you do 14 divided by 15 in your calculator, there is a 93% chance that she would not win. Okay, so even buying 20 tickets out of the 300, there's only a 7% chance that she would win. So complementary, what's the chances it would not happen? Okay, so now let's look at example 3. We're talking about rolling 2 dice, okay, a pair of number cubes, 2 dice, and it has to be less than 8, a sum that has to be less than 8. Well, if you roll 2 dice, the lowest you can get is a 1, is a 2, because you can't have a 1. Okay, so think of all the numbers you can get. So 7a is asking for a number that's that's more than 8, because it's outcomes that are complementary. Okay, so you've got a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, they're all the possible ones, but for 7a it's asking you for what is not possible. Well, these are the only numbers that are not possible, so that's 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, right, so now we go to B. B is asking what is the probability of it not being those numbers. Well, the first thing you've got to do is work out how many possible chances that have you got. Okay, well, we've got to do a bit of working out now. So the only way you can get a 2 is a 1 and a 1. So there is only one way of making a 2. To make a 3, you do 1 and 2, 2 or 1. So there's 2 of these, and you can see a pattern emerge eventually. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I've lost it. 1, 2, I've missed the 3. So that will be 3, that will be 4, that will be 5. Okay, 7 is the biggest, believe it or not, and then you start coming back down again now. So 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Okay, well, going back to what it's asking you for, complementary, these are the only chances that it can't be. But you've got to add all these numbers up to work out what the probability is. Okay, well, if you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 together, you actually get 36 chances. Okay, because there are 36 different ways that you can roll a dice, and you can make 4 9s, you can make 3 2s, 3 10s, 2 11s, 1 12. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 will give you 10. So the probability of it not being 8 or below is 10 out of 36, and you can simplify that down to 5 over 18. And then all you've got to do then is change that into a fraction. No, sorry. What it's asking you for, that it will be one of those. So instead of it being 10 out of 36, it's going to be the rest, which is going to be 26 out of 36. And if you simplify that, you get 13 over 18. In other words, if you subtract that from 1, that's what your final answer will be. Okay, so be careful, because there's sometimes a little bit of fiddling about that you've got to do. And in this case, it was find out how many different outcomes were possible from rolling 2 dice. So putting all that into a probability, so let's have a look at what you've got. What do intersect? You've got comedy and action. You're looking at a movie. So whether you go to watch a comedy or an action, okay, 2 people went to see a comedy and an action. But as you can see, there is your complimentary, so 6 people didn't watch either. But first and foremost, what you've got to do is work out how many people watched a comedy and an action, which in this case is these 3 guys added together. So that's where the 9 comes from. So 9 people watched the film, but how many watched it in total? Well, that's all of these in total, okay, which is 15. So 9 over 15 will simplify down to 3/5. And again, it's 3 divided by 5, and that will give you 60%, or 3 divided by 5 multiplied by 100 will give you 60%. All right, so let's have a look at what we've got for example 4 into questions. Okay, so the Jim is asking for new members to fill out of a question form whether they want to lose weight, which is the L, whether they want to improve fitness, which is the F. Some might want to go just for classes or something else, but not, some of the classes you don't lose weight, you don't lose fitness. Maybe you just want to do something else. I don't know. But anyway, 5% of people just want to lose weight, 20% want to improve the fitness, and 35% want to lose a bit of weight and improve fitness. So let's just have a look at a few of these questions. So let's have a look at number 8 for a start. Okay, so question number 8 is how many people want to lose weight? Well, bearing in mind, it's both parts of it. It's the part of the union and the intersection. So you've got the 5 plus the 35. Okay, it's already in percentages for you. So that one is purely and simply 40%. Skip to say number 11. Number 11 is the union, the intersection part of it. Okay, so don't forget you can do the L and the N and the F. All right, the union of both of those. Well, that's this guy here. So that's just purely and simply 35%. So sometimes it's long, sometimes it's easy.